Hey baddies, welcome back to my channel, and today we are diving into something new. So I've been noticing that my content has been getting kind of stale lately because, when you're doing makeup all the time, and already I am a makeup artist, so I do people's faces all the time, it gets kind of stale. So I decided I'm going to be doing some chit chats with you guys, and I'm going to be doing some sort of reviews and having fun with this content thing. So in today's episode, we are diving into Reddit chats. So in today's episode, we listen and we don't judge. So if you guys know how spicy those things are, stay tuned. Let's do our makeup while we dive into other people's problems. I'm joking. But yeah, while we sneakily dive into other people's problems and have fun, So I just found one of the most funniest Reddit posts, and I'm going to read what they're basically saying. So this woman is on the page. This woman is 24 years old and her husband is 38 years old. So she goes in and starts off with saying, my husband saw a TikTok video this week about couples that are doing the trend we listen, we don't judge, then realizing something bad or funny about the experience. So my husband decided to come through to me, and he was actually pressuring me to participate because he said he had something very funny to admit. Like, I think this is the first red flag. Why does he have something very funny to admit and under the we listen, we don't judge, title? Okay, let's see where the story is going. So she says that she had to he first wanted to know that this is going to be a game and nothing serious. So let's pause a bit. I first started off with going in with ice on my face just to tighten up my pores and to prep my skin. So for the best makeup, you guys need to know skin prep is the trick in everything. So I'm going in with my aloe vera, and I'm going to carve out and shape my eyebrows because they grew out quite a bit, and I don't like some bushy eyebrows, So let's go back to the story. So the girl continues and says, so when it was his turn, he told me that he removed things from the computer to make it very slow and almost unstable. So 2 years ago, she says, in 2022, her computer suddenly started running like garbage. And she says, I could never figure out what was wrong with the computer. I primarily used it for school and playing online games with my siblings because I don't live very close with them anymore. So now she's saying that she can't even browse the internet anymore, let alone play games on it. So when she eventually asked her husband why he did this, he actually says that he just wanted to spend more time with him. You guys, when I talk about red flag, I could just sense that this whole thing is a red flag. So why is this man trying to manipulate himself through things? Why can't husbands just talk to their wives about what they're experiencing and feeling? So no. It's a no from the baddie squad. It's a no from me. Let's go into the second story. So again, hyaluronic acid is so amazing for the skin, especially if you're girly with acne-prone skin. And it's also amazing, especially if you feel like your skin is dry and stuff like that. It also helps with hyperpigmentation. So like I said, skin prep, you must be big on it. All right, the second story, this girl is actually asking for a male's perspective, but we all can give a perspective in this situation. So you guys can just comment below. So this woman says, hi everyone, I'm 26 female, married to a 29 male, and today we played We Listen, We Don't Judge game. I want your advice, and I want you guys to be genuine and give me advice because I feel like there's just a few red flags. So then she goes off by saying, I went off first by saying I don't weigh his food all the time. He goes to the gym, so he asks that when I serve him food, I weigh his carbs and protein. He then said something that caught me off guard. He said, sometimes I don't want to see your face at all, so I avoid you. Like, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, if my husband told me that, I don't know how I'd feel about that. Anyways, and then she asked him, she's like, what do you mean by that? He says, like, I want you around, but I don't want to see you. So she says, okay, damn, we started off strong, I guess. And she says, I won't lie, that caught me off guard because damn, I mean, I feel damn too, So she's like, I was not expecting that. I mean, I noticed something that sometimes he doesn't really like to make eye contact with me when he talks, but I didn't think it was this deep. And he's always on his phone and doesn't initiate conversations. But I thought that was normal. We've been married for 7 years, so, it might mean that we might be stale. So then I said, okay, since we're starting off strong, sometimes I'm hella pissed at you. I look up divorce attorneys and see which one I'd end up using if I wanted to go through with it. Yo, guys, I feel like if you're already Googling divorce attorneys, that's the red flag. That's the first thing that she needs, comment below. Let me know what you guys think about someone who's automatically looking for divorce attorneys. So then he says to her, okay, my turn. Sometimes when you're talking and you piss me off, I imagine myself hitting you. Guys, this guy just said, I imagine myself hitting you. And then she goes ahead and puts it in brackets and says he's never ever hit me in the 7 years we've ever been together, not even threatened me or put his hands on me. I always feel safe around him, knowing my crazy ass self, I'd probably beat his ass back. So basically, the advice that I wanted to know from males is that, do males envision beating someone up even when they are in love with them? Oh, guys, males, please pull through and let us know. Let the girl know. Anyways, she goes ahead and writes and says, next thing he said that was a red flag was that sometimes when I call him or text him, he ignores me and responds back hours later. Mind you, I already knew this because I used to check his Snap score and it was going up. His online status on Instagram stated that he was online, etc. So I knew he was on his phone. And he works a chill job, so he's always on his phone. There was a time where I'd text him and he would ignore me, but simultaneously be texting his female coworkers back and send her memes. Just cringe stuff that I never thought was funny. And that really bothered me. And to be honest, so I knew that from the get-go, but I never admitted to him that I've always known that. So instead, I just decided to start texting him less, and I blocked him on Snapchat and Instagram, only phone calls when I really need him, because who's going to ignore me? Not me. This is so sad. The fact that she had to literally do certain things in her marriage, you guys, that will make her more digestible to her own husband. I mean, she's even saying that he didn't even check any DMs that she would send him on Instagram. I personally feel like this is a red flag, but she's asking, is this normal male behavior before she files for divorce? Like I said, I personally feel like if you're going to be spending forever with each other like this, no one's addressing anything, you guys are not attending couples therapy, you guys are not dealing with the problem, it's just, no one is even bothered at this stage. He's not even bothered that they don't even have a connection anymore. I feel that she should definitely say something, not obviously instantly end a marriage, but she should definitely say something. And if he's resistant to change or for them to be better and more in a loving space, then yeah, she kind of needs to figure out what she's doing with the rest of her life, Okay, that was very emotional. Let me look for another story that is less emotional, because this is kind of sad. This is oh, damn. Yo, guys, I personally feel like this game of we listen, we don't judge is such a dangerous game that I don't even think there's any human being I would even play it with. Even when I think in my deepest that could I even play it with a friend? But if you really have to play the game and you really have to be honest with certain things, then you're going to change. People are going to you're going to change people's perspective about you. And if that's what you're comfortable with, then go ahead, play the game. But it's a no from me. Anyways, let's first go into makeup. So I've already applied all my primers. You guys know skin prep is the best prep for the best makeup. And I'm going in with my foundation. And I like to use a flat foundation brush to make sure that all the product spreads evenly and there's no patches and weird snuck things that we don't want on our face, So I'm going to go in with a contour after this, and I'm going to go in with a highlighter. So I use a normal foundation that is just way lighter as a highlighter, and you can also do that as well. You don't always have to buy a concealer, you know what I mean? All right, so here's another story. So this person is saying, I was at my friend's birthday party in high school and I was super drunk. I ran up to a group of people and said to them, watch this. I then proceeded to run and dive into a bounce house, only for the Velcro lined entrance to grab my sweat pants and boxers and pull them down to my ankles. I will never forget the looks of horror in their faces while I laid there on my back with my legs in the air, showing off all my goodies. You guys, nothing good starts with watch this. You know, when you gotta perform for people, you gotta show people a cool trick or whatever. Don't. Keep it inside. Bring back shame. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right, baddies. I think we have time for another story. So this story is called The Pasta Sauce. And I'm not going to share my opinion. I'm just going to be reading through this story while I'm doing my highlighter. And this concealer is amazing. Always try and pick a concealer that really does brighten your face, but always make sure that when you go in with your pressed powder, you always make sure to neutralize the color of your face to match your neck. So this pasta sauce. So it starts like this. Open air quotes. Okay, this sounds dumb, but hear me out. I've always been a picky eater, especially when it comes to tomatoes. Ever since I was a kid, my dad would make my spaghetti different from the rest of the house. I like having an essence of the sauce flavor on my noodles, but not the overpowering flavor of having noodles bathed in a sauce that is created. So here's where it gets a bit odd. My dad would separate my spaghetti from the other families, and after putting the sauce on, and then would rinse the sauce off with the sink and a strainer. I love noodles like this as it is a nice subtle tomato vibe given to mild spaghetti. My 20-year-old boyfriend has known about this since we first started dating. He always told me my food habits were cute. We have been dating for almost 3 years and moved in together at the beginning of the pandemic, so we could have some lockdown time together, you know. Ever since we moved in together, he insists on taking charge of the cooking and all the cooking related tasks such as dishes, grocery shopping, etc. Lucky her, hey? And he assigned me with the role of cleaning the bulk of the apartment. We split other tasks pretty much 50-50 too. Everything was perfect until... Everything was perfect and he always seemed to be making noodles the way I like. This was until the last week when we had spaghetti. We ate and everything was good. But afterwards, he started teasing me, saying, you really like your pasta with an essence of tomato. And how was your tomato essence, babe? Always using finger quotes around the word essence. After a few comments, I felt something was off and asked him if he had done anything differently with tonight's noodle. So the crazy part is he literally just started laughing. When he finally stopped laughing, he told me the whole truth with a smirk. He said, I didn't do anything different than usual. I have never been making it the way that you have requested. Apparently, the entire time we've been living together, he's been skipping the pasta sauce on my noodles entirely. He claimed that if I didn't notice for such a long time, then it shouldn't even matter that he was making dinner in a way that was easier for him. I disagree entirely. I think his lying was a huge breach of trust, and so was the refusal to make the dinner how I wanted. I have admittedly been acting passive-aggressive to him ever since, but he thinks he did nothing wrong, that I'm overreacting, and I need to know, guys, do I need to let this go, or am I the a-hole? This story ended so nicely while I'm about to actually start baking my face. So there's a difference between banana powder and translucent powder. I usually use my translucent powder on the inner parts of my eyes because I don't want any form of pigment in those parts. And then on the outside of my face, I go in with the banana powder because it's more brown and it's more subtle, especially when it comes to being a dark skinned girl. So yes, that's why I'm using two different setting powders. Anyways, so back to this story. I feel like this story is such a non-extreme story, but I would say that like this guy that this girl is dating and has been living with, I feel like this was supposed to be a joke. I don't understand how this joke went on for so long. Now she's busy feeling like she's the a-hole and acting passive towards him for no reason. Like, I do feel like her reactions are a bit extreme because he was joking and it's not like she died, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I need a joke to be a joke. Like, I have standards for jokes. You cannot joke if it's on someone else's expense, and you cannot joke if it's not a funny joke and it makes someone else cry. Like, I guess that's the same thing as someone else's expense. But like, this joke was supposed to maybe last a week. I don't understand how it lasted for such a long time, to a point where she feels like she has to act passive towards this guy. So I don't know, but this story was a bit lame. So I'm gonna improve with this, you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to really try it out and have fun with my YouTube channel because it is mine after all. Yes, I'm here to entertain you guys, but I'm the one who's creating all this content. I'm the one who has to go through feeling stuck. I'm the one who has to go through feeling like, what else am I gonna say? You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna stop though. So I just thought, let me spice it up. And if you guys really like this kind of content, please let me know. Please let me know what you guys want me to adjust or change, or send me juicy stories to read. Anyways, we've got to the last part of my face beads. I've lined my lips and now I'm going in with this shimmer spray. Yo, guys, I really love a good shimmer spray, especially if you're going to be outside in the nighttime and someone like turns on their flash. You be looking so good. You'll be looking like glitter and gold. You know what I mean? So then I went in with my L'Oreal Infallible because this makeup kind of needs to last all night. So there you have it, baddies. If you guys really like this look, please comment below. Let me know. Let me know how I'm doing. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on those notification bells so you can know when I post my next video. Bye!